race speed. But you're right, yeah, we've got each of our 3 teams inside the top 3, and that's going to be important then because they've not done it in qualifying, which means they need to do it on lap 1. A team needs to establish control, have a front line towards the front end of the field, and be able to sort of control the race that way. With the slipstream and with running very close to each other, you can really maximize your straight line speed and control the race. We're rolling though to the line. Let's go racing here at Daytona.
Darren McCormack will soon be in control of the field here for race 4 of the Esports World Cup final. Can he do it again? Darren McCormack brings them to the green flag with his teammate Wojciech Fiala close in attendance in 4th. We are racing here at Daytona, and it's McCormack on the inside line coming down in towards turn 1, and he brakes later than the rest to take the lead again. Now Bennett tries to follow through. Oh, and that's contact in the background. Off goes Marcel Chintik, I think, and there's chaos in the background. Chaos. A couple of red lines were off the road there for sure. Side by side, meantime, between Statsenko and Sebastian Job. Statsenko has got to stay close because his teammate Wojciech Fiala's down the back end of the field.
Yeah, Fiala got involved with something there. He's definitely about 2.5 seconds off the back. Side by side though, Mikhail Statsenko on the inside of Sebastian Job even now on the brakes into the Western Horseshoe. He's got the inside line as the BMW M Team red line car. Statsenko then left on the outside, and establishing control of the apex there was Job, able to move his way up into 4th place, but once again establishing control of this race early doors. This is the crucial point though, turn 6, foot to the floor as we make our way onto the oval.
And McCormack's lost the lead briefly, not sure how, but he lost the lead briefly to Bennett, and Yuri Toman gets back through again. I wonder whether Bennett was told just to give up some places there. Anyway, just for safety reasons, if you like, so that the stewards didn't give him a penalty. Not really sure, and it doesn't look like he's very sure either. He's now in the background of Yuri Toman, and again, no team has got control of this, and that's where Mikhail Statsenko plays into this. If he can keep the red lines there, battling for 5th, they can't help Bennett try and win.
Yeah, exactly. That actually hands the baton to Vitality, because they've got Toman and Yuyovsky in the conversation. Let's take a look back at the start then. That's Bennett on the inside of Toman. Didn't see anything too untoward there, but I think just a couple of snaps of oversteer. That's what happened to Fiala, and then just everyone got collected behind.
That was Kevin Siggy for Redline who was caught up most. And Yuyovsky in the meantime is going to try and overtake everybody on the left-hand side of your screen. Again, not great for Vitality, unfortunately, although they are 2 in the top 4. And Bennett breaks early. He wants to reconvene with his teammates who have gotten past Mikhail Statsenko. Oh, and McCormack's off! McCormack makes a mistake, perhaps for the first time this afternoon. McCormack makes a mistake, coming down in towards turn 1, and Vitality lead 1 and 2.
That is huge for McCormack, and straight away Sebastian Job trying to capitalise on the weakness. Looks to go to the inside of the International Horseshoe. McCormack able to hang on. He's got to compose himself quickly though and not lose track of this race on lap 2 of 9. Still plenty of time left to dissect this race and get your head back into the game, but he's on the back foot now. Really quickly needs to flick the switch, get back into it and get back on the attack.
Well, how can Darren McCormack do this then? Because Job and Rietveld behind him are making this difficult. There goes Sebastian Job, dive bomb down at turn 6, and now they're going to freight train him. Darren McCormack's going backwards here, and they've got to try and shuffle him here, red line, and they can't quite do it. Rietveld there wasn't quite close enough. There's a flash of a light from McCormack. The tensions are starting to rise here in amongst the field, and here we go again. It's going to be red line all over the place, trying to get past McCormack, and Virtus.pro going backwards now. The red line boys are coming back again. Here comes McCormack, outside line in the bus stop, contact. Oh, and it's gone. McCormack's gone in the bus stop chicane. Their best driver, Virtus.pro, 3 wins in a row coming into this race. He's not going to get a 4th. Darren McCormack down to the back end of the field.
It's Vitality 1 and 2. It's Team Redline at 3, 4 and 5. Statsenko, the highest placed Virtus.pro driver there in 6th place. McCormack and the Le Mans chicane. It always happens there. All the drama in R1 at Daytona. It happens right at that pinch point, side by side, into one of the fastest, most demanding corners pretty much on the entire calendar. And it's always going to be drama there. And it's gone in, well, disadvantageous to Darren McCormack there. He's now all the way back with 0 chance of recovery in this race. It's kicking off in the background as well though. Siggy trying to hold off Ellis Jr. and Chinchik. McCormack coming into this race with 3 wins on the bounce. Always going to be a target, and well, Redline have definitely seen an end to that.
Yeah, he won 4 in a row online. He's not going to win 4 in a row in the LAN event. Let's see this again. It's contact with one of the red lines. Now, this is the view I was looking for. Now then, contact again, there, and I'm afraid Redline, or I don't know who that was. I'm not going to say who it was to try and push that number 24. Who was that? Yeah, Riyadh. Okay, I'm afraid Riyadh has taken McCormack out there, and we'll see what the stewards do about that. But in my opinion, anyway, that was egregious coming down into the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, not at all what you want to see. And I mean, we saw controversy a couple of days ago, or yesterday, with Bennett and Tobias Pfeffer. That was a little different. I mean, Bennett's still clearly in the wrong. He said himself he was in the wrong, turning in on Tobias Pfeffer. At least then they were 3 wide. Rietveld, I really just didn't have much excuse there, trying to put his nose in where it didn't belong, and McCormack unfortunately got the short end of the stick. Kevin Siggy, though, running in P9. He's got Marcel Cincic for company. Of course, the Hungarian not getting off to the best of starts in this race, trying to recover. But all of that contact, all of that carnage has seen a clear breakaway for the top 4. So it's Luke Bennett and Sebastian Job versus Yuri Toman and Nahan Yuyovsky pretty much for the lead.
Let's see what happens here as Statsenko tries to get past Rietveld. Got to be careful with that, and here comes in the background Thibaut Casabon, makes it 3 wide. Oh, it's a squeeze, and they're 3 wide across the line. Goodness me, the Frenchman on the outside is going to roar through, and Bennett's going to try and slow down the Vitalities. Outside line for him. Yuyovsky and Toman have got to try and stay together, and they cannot. Bennett gets in the middle of them. Now he'll try and slow them down a little bit and get Sebastian Job into the mix.
Yeah, indeed. So we split the Vitalities. This is important. Sebastian Job now was about a second behind at the start of the lap. He's now definitely closing that gap and within a couple of car lengths. So arriving on the scene then is some backup for Luke Bennett, who has had a really topsy-turvy race. Not in terms of his form, just really in terms of some misfortune. But there you can see Nahan Yuyovsky closing the gap, getting all over the rear end of Luke Bennett, who gets a little bit squirrely on the exit of the Western Horseshoe, but just doing enough to keep Yuyovsky at bay. Ideally, sort of around 6 tenths starts the slipstream, but with the way it works, the closer you get, the stronger it gets. The stronger it gets, the faster you go, the closer you get, the stronger it gets. It's an exponential increase in terms of the slipstream, and we see that in bucket loads around Daytona.
Now then, how are Vitality going to work this? Because they do have 2, but so do Redline now. Sebastian Job is now in the fray again. 4 covered by a second. It's going to be another barnstormer at Daytona, that's for sure. And here he goes! Yuyovsky, the surprise move into the bus stop chicane. It can be done side by side, and they've slowed each other down here. Yuri Toman's going to go into the distance. Team Vitality looking to secure this victory for themselves.
Huge there from Yuyovsky. He sacrificed his own race to ensure Toman runs away, potentially for victory. The gap is open up to 1 second, and if he can keep this up, keep the red lines occupied, Toman is free. Side by side as Sebastian Job pulls out to the right-hand side, and Bennett is going to try and box in Yuyovsky. This side draft is going to be strong, but it's not enough for Job to really attack into turn 1. Now, Bennett trying to sort of hold the middle of the circuit and discourage Yuyovsky from a move, box him in on the apex. Sebastian Job tries to go the long way round, and he's got his BMW there. Now towards the International Horseshoe, he's got the inside line.
Well, is he going to have the place here? It looks like it. Inside line, Bennett's going to go wide, and there you go, there's the block, and they're going to get both of their red line cars in front, so that's how it's done into the International Horseshoe. In the background, Statsenko and Kevin Ellis Jr. are just trying to get 5th, and that's all they can fight for back there. Same for Rietveld, who's holding fort for red line. He's got Siggy involved now as well. Here comes Yuyovsky again. Oh, barge, side by side into the West Horseshoe. He doesn't want the red lines together either. At the moment, Yuri Toman's gone. You can forget about the race win. It's going to be for second place here.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's Yuyovsky's job, right? Vitality need to secure a win if they want any chance in recovering in this. A couple of little updates, actually, in terms of penalties. We've not had a conclusion regarding the Le Mans chicane, but we have had a couple based on lap 1. Bennett and Job both getting a couple of penalty points. Just a warning for Bennett. 1 penalty point going on his licence, and a 1 second penalty for Sebastian Job, which really knocks him out of contention. Let's take a look back, though. This was how how Bennett was able to split the Vitalities.
It really, on the brakes here, by the way, did a very good job. That transition off the banking is very difficult. Toman doing just enough in terms of giving space, but not giving any for free, that's for sure. And that was how Bennett got into second place at the time. Yuyovsky is super close behind Job, but as you say, Job has got a second penalty now, so he's going to drop behind Yuyovsky anyway. He can still cause a bit of trouble here, though, if he slows down Yuyovsky somehow. And look at this, they're queuing up, it looks like, for the shops at the moment as they come in towards turn 1. Bennett, Job, Yuyovsky, all slowing one another down. Now, that's wide from Job as well. I wonder whether he's going to try and let Bennett through now by slowing Yuyovsky up as much as possible.
Yeah, maybe so. Could have just been a slight mistake. We always talk about the transition off the banking because, well, as it sort of levels out pretty much as your braking point, you're braking while the track then initially is leveling out, and that can really disrupt the balance of the car, especially if you've not quite got your brake bias right, and gets even more tricky when you're in a pack like this. Kevin Siggy really in amongst it in P9. He's got Thibaut Casbon in front, Marcel Cinčić just in behind, so sandwiched between the two Vitalities. Ellis Jr. and Statsenko trying to apply some pressure onto Jeffrey Rietveld just in behind, just in front, I should say. And they've got Yayovski, what is that now, 6/10 in front. I think Job is trying to get his teammates involved into a fight for the podium.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to slow this all up here to let all these guys involved, and there does seem to be a bit of an accord here actually between these teams for 5th place. Rietveld, Statsenko, Kevin Ellis Jr., Casabon, then Siggy, then Cinčić. Sebastian Job's getting warm again. He is just trying to get them involved, and they might well do. All of those 6 or so are working quite well together, which is something we've not seen much of this afternoon, but it's required around here at Daytona. What about Yayovski? He's close again, but surely he's got to try and get in front of Job now, because if he doesn't do it soon, Bennett will get away with 2nd.
Yeah, exactly that. I think maybe even, a couple more corners behind, and it could well be a lost chance. There you can see Han Yayovski in the bottom left. Yuri Toman is the one on the right. He's leading the race by 1.7 seconds, really in control, and this could well be the turning point for Team Vitality in the slipstream, but not bump drafting. That's not allowed. They can't push the car in front to get some extra speed, so Yayovski has to sit behind. Doesn't go for the move to the inside of turn 1, but has been able to close back up onto Bennett, so that plan of getting Bennett away clearly not working, at least for now. Lap 7 of 9 though, we're in the closing stages of this race, and this is where, especially at Daytona, it starts to matter most.
Absolutely. There's a bit wide. Oh dear, Bennett making a mistake this time round. Just a bit wide through the international horseshoe, but there's been a bit of waiting now in the middle part of the race after the early drama that saw Darren McCormack's end to a great run that he was having. He was looking for 4 in a row, and he got another pole position to go with it here at Daytona, but that is going to come to a close here with this race. He's currently down in 12th place, scoring nil points in Daytona. Out of turn number 6 they go again, and we are pretty much together here, aren't we? Almost a second now between Rietveld and Yayovski, just in time for the finish. They're all going to be together.
Yeah, this is going to be a standout finish, and we've seen already some drama, NASCAR style, on the run to the line in R1 competition. It wasn't the first, it probably won't be the last. Let's see how we can fend off the final couple of laps of this race in what is a decisive one for the future of the finals day, the grand finals of the Esports World Cup. $200,000 of prize money to be decided. 2nd place with 100 grand, 3rd place with 60. So at least they've got a guaranteed decent chunk of cash in that back pocket, but they're always going to chase a little bit more. Han Yayovski chasing after Sebastian Job in the slipstream, but just stalls out a little bit too soon. That's the problem, is that with the slingshot, it happens so quickly. We've got side by side in the background as well. Onto the penultimate lap of the race. This is when it's going to get busy. Well,
yeah, I thought they were working together, and they had been, but they've all thrown it away now. Statsenko and Kevin Ellis Jr. Oh dear, it looks like they're 3 wide, in fact, in the background. How's this going to work? Redline again working this well, and Redline have got themselves into 5th and 8th now. Siggy just went a bit wide. It would have been perfect if he could have got to 6th there as well, but not quite. Thibaut Casabon played that well as well. He's got no teammates, but he's playing it well at the moment. Round the outside for Kevin Ellis Jr. They have got their faster man in front here, Virtus.pro, but they need some more points than this.
Yeah, they really do, especially with Darren McCormack scoring 0. Keeping an eye, of course, eagerly on the penalty situation after that situation at the Le Mans chicane. A lap and a half left to go of this race, and well, it all boils down to this. All the stakes, all the pressure really starting to rise on race number 4 of finals day on that run to finalist mode. Kevin Siggy sitting just in behind. Mikhail Statsenko trying to, of course, get the best exit possible. Jeffrey Rietveld doing a brilliant job as to head the front of this train. And well, for all of these drivers, they all have some sort of skin in the game in terms of maximising their points. No one in this finals bracket is by any means comfortable.
One more lap to go then between these 12 drivers, and most importantly, those in the background. It looks like the Virtus.pro have been split up again. Oh, and Statsenko's going backwards. Casabon and Siggy have both got through there. Not good news for Virtus. Virtus.pro again into the bus stop chicane, but what about out front? Yuyovski close to the two red lines in front. Joby's going to lose this place to Yuyovski whatever happens, but can Yuyovski finish second? That will be his main concern, and how does he go about doing it as well? It's to the outside maybe? No, not at the moment. Yes, sort of. He's half thinking about it. Now he gets pulled across there from Job. What about Bennett? Where does he go? He's stuck on the inside. Yuyovski's on the outside line coming into the first corner, and surely they're just going to make sure he doesn't get through by hogging the road at the moment, but he's done well around the outside. He's still there alongside Bennett for third.
Nicely done. This is what it all boils down to, though. Erhan Yuyovski side by side with Luke Bennett, who goes the long way around in the International Horseshoe. He gets the power down first as well, but pushing the track limits there. Yuyovski trying to discourage him from being there. It's now the outside line for the kink, and that's where the car is demanding a lot of lateral load, so forced to concede is Erhan Yuyovski. That releases Job, at least for now, and now Redline really need to work together to secure a double podium. But for Vitality, a 1 and 2 could really turn the tide for their fate in the finals.
Well, let's see. Virtus.pro are in the most trouble, you would say, out of this group. It looks like Redline probably taking most points from this race. Maybe Vitality something similar, but Virtus.pro the ones who are really losing out at the moment as we go into the final sector. There is Kevin Ellis Jr. just in behind Jeff Rietveld. Imagine he will try and get past into 5th place, but how does he go about it? Does he do it into the bus stop chicane? No, he's going to wait, and so is Yuyovski in front. Side by side in the background, Siggy is going to get past Kazabon as well as Chinchik, and that's going to be a run to the line as well. Out front, it's going to be Yuri Toman, who wins for the 13th time in R1 history. Vitality perhaps back on track here by gaining a couple of points in this 4th race of the day. What about Redline? Where are they going to finish? Looks like Job's going to be 4th, but Yuyovski is not going to get past Bennett, I don't think, on the way towards the line. There goes Toman. He wins again at Daytona, but it's Team Redline who have taken the lead of the championship and taken control here. Yuyovski can't quite get past Job or Bennett on that occasion, and so Redline will certainly be the most pleased coming out of Rennsport.
Yeah, you don't need to win any race today apart from the one that you're in finalist mode, so it's all about banking those points on that run to 250. That's the golden number today, and then a race win after that decides the fate. We'll wrap up the championship, but Vitality doing everything they can. They came into finals day potentially as the underdog, but have really delivered themselves well at Daytona.
Another penalty point for Erhan